Hey everyone, I thought I'd give you a little update on how things are going with my 1964 Corvair Monza that is being called the Seacan Coupe. Made a lot of progress, I want to show you. Okay, so this is my 1964 Corvair Monza that was in a storage container, shipping container, since 1982, and it's pretty near completion. Done a lot of things to it. There's still some more odds and ends I have to do, but I thought I'd give it a walk around and a show, and then maybe take it for a drive, show you guys what's going on with it. So, start with the inside. It's all newish interior. The door cards and front seats are from a friend's car that he had recovered years ago, and anyways, they're very good condition. I had to get the back seat recovered and get coupe door cards because his was a convertible. New carpet from Clark's. It's okay. Color is great. The quality, we'll see how it holds up. The cardboard is in. That vent over there is the cable C, so I'm going to have to pull that out and loosen that up and carry on with that. But I'm not really worried about that right now because it's cold. It's winter. It's going to be. The radio box isn't in. The ashtray isn't in. I've got some dust on the dash because I've had the heater going. Dash lights aren't working. I think that's probably the switch for the headlights. All my lights are working, but the dash lights aren't working. So we'll look at that. Look at the engine bay. I have had some challenges. Now you can see with the light, it's a little wet down in there. That's because my transmission vent plug on the Power Glide on the front side, it's a real bear to get when the engine transmission's in the car. It was plugged. I missed that when I was resealing it. So what was happening was it was pressurizing the transmission, and the transmission fluid was burping back out the dipstick tube. And when it would run, and you couldn't really tell when it was just sitting here idling, but when you drive it, you get out and it would be a little bit of transmission fluid there. So I removed the vent, cleared it out. The other thing is, when I went to go fill the transmission fluid through the dipstick tube, it wouldn't go. It would glug and go very slowly. That's not it's a sign that something's going on. So I cleared out that vent. It filled properly. I was able to stop that burping effect, and everything seems to be working fine. It's running well. I did have some challenges there. I'll talk about that in a bit. Things I have left to do though. I have to make a grommet. This is obviously way too big of a battery cable, but that's okay. I'm going to leave that. I made that for this starter. I'm going to make a grommet for it that works there. I still have to remove this. This is just sitting here doing nothing. Internally regulated alternator. I made the new battery cables here. Everything here is pretty good. I did have some challenges. Now, I'm not perfect and I don't know everything, that's for sure. I have owned a lot of these cars. However, there is one guy that I know that has owned a lot more than I have. So my good friend Dave Binney, he's all over the internet as Dave Turbo Binney and Stratovair and a whole bunch of things. Anyways, he's kind of my go-to when it comes to engine building stuff. He specializes in that, does a great job. So I was having a little trouble getting this thing to run properly. The carburetors I pulled from the wagon had some mix match parts in them, and I think that it ran okay on the wagon, but I think with the nice tight fresh rebuild, I was finding all the weaknesses. The other thing was a couple odds and ends with my electronic ignition and my valve adjustment. That was the big thing. I couldn't get the valve adjustment correct. I did it cold, and then I ran the engine, readjusted it. Everything was going okay. I just couldn't get it to run just as tight as I thought it should. I could drive it around the block and everything, but it just wasn't running as well as I thought it should. which doesn't make any sense because it's a new pistons, new cylinders, new rings, you know, the heads have been done, new valves, all that stuff. So there's no reason for it to not run correctly, new lifters. So I threw it on the trailer, brought it to, so it's a little bit of a drive, to Dave's place, and he said, just leave it with me. And he played with it for a little bit, sorted out some odds and ends. I've been working a lot, so this helped immensely. I got the car back. I've done a couple little minor adjustments since then, but it's really working really well. So, crisis averted. Dave saved my bacon. You can't be afraid to phone a friend. We don't know everything, right? Another thing that I need to point out is that I had issues with the back wheels being all cambered, all funny, and I thought there was something wrong with the transverse leaf spring. And what had happened was, when I swapped in the front crossmember out of the 62 sedan that I bought for parts, that Kyle has now, I did some videos on that, it had extremely cut springs in the front. So it sat the front way down, which looked cool. I thought it was just because I had weight in the front, but I didn't really have anything in it. So it looked cool, however, it wouldn't drive. You'd hit a bump and it would creak and bang and all kinds of things. And the back wheels were all tilted inwards. The whole thing was out to lunch. So stock springs in the front. KYB shocks all the way around. KYB gas shocks. It seems to be working great. I did have to put two new back tires. I think I mentioned that before. These were the wheels that were on my 62 wagon that I was in the accident with. And the two back tires were shot from the accident. Now, I've been asked a bunch of times what these wheels are. I'm not sure. I bought these wheels they were on a 62 Coupe that I bought from my friend Dave, and then they went on my wagon, and now they're on here. I don't know what they are. He probably does. But the tire size I can tell you because it says right here. These ones are 195 65 15s on the rear. And I think they're 185s on the front. 185, 65, 15s on the front. And they don't rub, they don't bang. I'm pretty sure it's a 0 offset, just a 15x7 wheel. That's all. Seems to be driving pretty smooth. Everything seems to be running fine. Shifting okay. Could be a little crisper. It does have a little flare when it's cold. I think the transmission fluid might be just a touch low because, like I said, it's flaring when it's cold, and my dipstick is actually broken. So I can't get a good read on what is actually in it. So I'm going to try and find another dipstick, and Clark's doesn't have any, so I got to try and get one used. But it seems to be working pretty good. It's driving along smooth, you know. Horn works. And, you know, like it's got good response. It's no rocket ship, but it's definitely capable of highway speeds. Zipping along fine. I forgot how nice these things are to drive. I haven't driven a Corvair car since my wagon was wrecked. So getting back into this one, it's quite nice. It's a lot different than my ramp side truck. My ramp side truck, with it being a forward control, it handles quite different. Your legs are in front of the axle and everything, and it's like shifting a rowboat because it's a big giant manual transmission shifter. So slow down and try and go through the shifts. It only shifts once. It's a power glide, so it's 2 speeds. just from shifted fine there. So it's, you just need to warm up a little bit, fluid cycling through it. And then if I slow down, it should kick down when I stomp on it. If I get to I think about 30 miles an hour. There we go. That seems to be shifting fine. Well, it's a nice easy car to drive. People are concerned about it not having power steering, but there's no weight in the front. They're very light. The steering's very light. You have to maintain a 10-pound pressure differential between the front and rear tires. The rear tires get 10 pounds more than the front. If you do that, then the handling characteristics are quite good on these cars. But you can see, like, it just, there's not much to it for effort required to move it around. It's a nice fall day. Still blowing out dust and crap from the defroster hoses. Like, that's all new defroster hoses, but there's just still some crap from the whatever, the years and the mice in the heater system. So also interesting, there's no park in these cars. It's drive, low, neutral, reverse. There's no park, just your handbrake. I guess we're too much to the one side there. There, now we're over the lift. I guess I can show you what it looks like running. So, running, not burping out any more transmission fluid. So I'm back from going to get lunch. As I mentioned, there's a few things I have left to do. Some of the things I didn't mention is I have all new weather strips for it that I haven't done yet. And there's a cardboard behind the back seat that I have to install. I actually have carpeting for it that goes on the cardboard, so I have to do that. A few odds and ends, but really it's kind of at the point where it needs to go to the other side. It needs to go to the storage side of the shop, and I will be using it for some nice day cruises before they salt the roads. Once they salt the roads, I got to put everything away. And I kind of need to get the shop side emptied because I've got a couple of big projects happening. So thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos. Let me know what you think of this car. I like it. I don't plan on painting it. I know I'll probably get asked that. I do not plan on painting it, ever. I think it's just great. I'm also not going to try and polish it or anything like that. It kind of is what it is. It's an old, crappy, single-stage paint job, and I'm okay with that because I'm not worried about parking it anywhere. So far, it seems to be reliable. I've got 150 miles on this engine, so I still have to run it and drive it and put some miles on it and change the oil a few times and do those things that you're supposed to do for breaking in a new engine. Thanks very much, and stay safe, and please feel free to share this content with your friends. I'm always screwing around with old cars, and I'm going to keep screwing around with old cars. Thanks for watching.